Good morning, everyone, and thank you, the faculty and Sri Advaniji, for having me here, giving this opportunity of sharing the views of Sri Ramchandra Mission on meditation. Meditation is not a theory that we learn in colleges. Even whatever we learn in colleges has to and must manifest in the work environment, application of my knowledge in the working environment. And you learn slowly that all that we gather, though everything is not applicable in the real world, but they somehow add on to each other. It's like I cannot walk to the terrace unless I take the first step. And having reached the terrace, I cannot say that my first step was useless. See, many people, they say spirituality and religion, they are far apart. Some people compare that religion is the beginning stage, like a kindergarten, where you are taught to learn alphabet with stencils. As children, we all learned alphabet. Somebody held our hands and they said, this is A, and then they give us the stencil and we carry on with it. When we enter college, we don't walk around with that stencil and say, write with those alphabets. We become the champions. But we cannot say it was useless. It played its part. Stencils had its play, it had its role. Religion also has its role, culminating, remembering the word culminating into spirituality. I cannot remain worshipping the way I worship stencil. It must become my innate nature to worship, not through the objects, but it becomes my nature. So having established this fundamental principle and understanding, I would move on to say, why meditation? Most of us need not be told. It runs in our blood. Presence of God. Any child you ask, where is God? He's everywhere, people say that, see. We are indoctrinated from our childhood with the presence of God. Some people call God, some they call Ishwar, some people say it's Antaryamin, Khuda, what have you. See, too many names to the same entity. And we fight over all these things. Until we experience this oneness of God, till then, each philosophy will keep on dividing us. And that is not the purpose of religion. Religion, if one looks at the genesis of its word, religion. Re means to again, legion means to connect, ligar. One that connects me to what? With the source. Yoga, also it's a similar word, yogaha. One that joins, yajyuti iti yogaha. So, one that joins. The word in Sanskrit and word in English, they both convey the same meaning, same understanding that I have to unite myself with my maker. My Atma must merge with Paramatma. Now, this is the second thing I would like you to understand. The third thing I would like you to understand, that knowledge, though it's very impressive, the very knowledge that God is everywhere, is it enough for me? You ask yourself a question. I know God is everywhere. Now this know, how did it come to? How did you come to this conclusion that I know God is everywhere? Is it the hypothesis? Is it experience-based claim? Or is it a borrowed knowledge from my grandmother or grandparents or my father or my friends or from books? Nevertheless, this knowledge has not been actualized through the experience of its presence. Though He is everywhere, I am not even able to feel His presence in myself. Then what is the use of this presence and what is the use of this knowledge? That's why we advocate experience meditation. See. Only through experience one can be convinced without any doubt that yes, it is there. Like in science, we come up with some hypothesis and then later prove that it is so. Or we begin with the hypothesis that it is not so and so, and in the end we conclude either it's positive or negative. And spirituality is also as scientific. I would not say it is just an imaginary concept. It is not. Theoretically, I can convince you, but how long will this white wash last on your heart? But if it is made possible, and if you are able to feel the presence of that Almighty in your heart, then all the questions, all the doubts, all the surprises will vanish in no time. That's why we focus more on experience rather than knowledge. Of course, knowledge is better than having nothing in your head. But next step should be to actualize this experience through this knowledge through experience. And I would like to offer you little experiment, feeling this presence in your heart. Meditation is described or can be defined in many ways. But one single definition that appeals, and most people agree on it, is meditation is nothing but keeping your thought on one object for as long as you can. So you rest your mind on one object. Some people rest the mind on one object, let us say a flame outside called Deepam or Noor, or they fix the mind on some sound or just the attention on tip of the nose. Some people fix their attention on chakra here, they call third eye. Some people keep it on the nabhi, some people on the crown of the head. And everyone has their regions for whatever reasons they may be advocating that. I know some of you may have also meditated on your own, may not be as systematically, may not be as regularly, but it will give you the platform for comparison if you had already meditated. This system is very unique in a way. Though the method is simple, method is useless unless and until there is another element we call transmission is applied to it. See? And what is this transmission? In order to understand the concept of transmission, which is described in Sanskrit as pranahuti, in Urdu it is called tawajjo. Okay. I'll have to take a little exit from this talk and bring up another subject on nutrition, nourishing our physical system, our body. We take, we consume diet. As far as possible, if it is balanced diet, it's great. Vitamins, protein, fat, carbohydrates, all fibers in a balanced state. Okay, that nourishes our physical body. Then we go on to the second aspect of our existence, mental enrichment. How do we nourish that? You are all going through the process at the moment, enriching yourself mentally. And please don't let it stop with the stopping of this degree. Let it continue. Don't let it rust. Education should never be stopped till we die. Otherwise, if you don't, as they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. And we also have a third body. First body is the grosser body, physical body. We get the nutrition from food. Second is mental, and that it derives its nutrition through such enrichment via our professors, via what we do with this, with their teaching. We assimilate it, we absorb it, we assimilate it, and later on make it more intense through our work, actualize it in our experience. We also have a third entity we call soul or the Atma. Did you ever think how do we or how can we enrich that soul? Is there any food for that? Suppose some of you may say yes, some of you may say no. Let's put it differently. When you are hungry and you eat something like a baby without realizing that it's a food, and if it satisfies your hunger, you're happy. You may not even call, this is my food. Child doesn't speak, it's my food. When you're thirsty without knowing the name water, it still quenches your thirst. And when you are so desperate about knowledge, it really does not matter where from we gather our knowledge. It just impresses our heart so much. You are lost in that knowledge. You are somehow in a state of joy when we learn something new. Similarly, when the inner being, the soul, though we do not know how it feels hungry and not, but if somehow, through some process, if it is satisfied, if it remains at peace, if it brings or derives immense calmness that it has never experienced before, then you can say, yes, something is all right. I am being fed. That's what I call prana-huti. Prans ahuti. Sacrifice of someone's soul for the enrichment of my soul. Now, when you say sacrificing someone's soul, it does not mean we are killing someone, no. But a yogi at the pinnacle of his sadhana or yogi at the pinnacle of his evolution, he merges in the ultimate. He derives the essence from the ultimate and he is able to, after drawing it, he can transmit it. And the people who receive it, they feel it. And that's what we like to offer to you if you are interested. And to simply encourage you all to try out, I'll throw another possibility that how limited we are in the physical world. Our body, with its limitations at a genetic level, If you are going to grow 5 feet 5, you'll grow only 5 feet 5, maybe 5.6 if you keep on exercising. Your muscles may not be as big as one of those machos, but you can surpass your parents' physical status by exercising and by properly looking after your body with right nutrition. But a 5-footer cannot dream of becoming a 6-footer. There is enormous limitation at a physical level, imposed, restrained by the genetics or the genes that we have inherited from our parents. If you go to the next level, growth at the mental level, it is not as restricted. It is not genetic in its order. If my father is a farmer, I have all the possibility of becoming PhD, or a son or a daughter of a rickshaw puller can still become a PhD or super PhD, double PhD, triple PhDs. But not all can become Einsteins. There is limitation there too. But there is a greater flexibility than at a physical level. Going to the spiritual realm, there are no limitations. Possibilities are infinite. You can go on expanding, keep growing infinitely in the spiritual field. Because now you're merging with God. And if God is infinite and if my merger is in the infinite, my growth must be infinite. So there is a greater possibility through meditation. I welcome you all to try it out. If you like it, continue with it. If you don't like it, there is no loss to anyone. But once you like it, make it a commitment to yourself. Not that you're going to satisfy any of your parents by sitting quietly with closed eyes and become a saint. Or you're not even here to satisfy God. We are here to satisfy our existence. The very purpose of existence is to excel in whatever we do. Most people have this question, why was I born? Was it a mistake? The only thing, after many years of interaction within myself, I've come to this fundamental conclusion that this life is given to us so that we excel in whatever. Simple as that. First, I will teach you how to relax. So if you have phones, please turn them off. Switch them off, please. Don't keep it on a vibratory mode. Keep your bags on the floor. If you don't leave it in your lap, please. If it's possible, you can remove your shoes or chappals. When I'm about to demonstrate how to relax before meditation. You need not meditate also if you are not interested later on, but somehow take on this method of how to relax. You can teach your parents as well. You can say, Papa, please relax. Don't be in the tension. And the same method can also be used when we cannot fall asleep easily. Instead of sitting down, the same process can be repeated in a supine position in the bed. So this process will take about 2 to 3 minutes, not much. But remain focused inside and be relaxed through this process. Follow the process and my commands that I give you. Just close your eyes, please. We'll start with feet. Try to feel the toes and the ankle. See if they are relaxed. Your calf muscles and your knees are relaxing. The entire leg is feeling relaxed. Area of the body touching the ground or the chair is relaxing. Your entire back is relaxing. Abdominal muscles are relaxing. Your chest is relaxing. Feel your arms, your fingers, your wrist. They're all relaxing. Your shoulders, they're melting, dissolving. Your neck muscles are relaxed. Your facial muscles are relaxing. Your eyes are soft and gently closed. A lot of softness in your eyes. Feel the crown of your head. The whole body from top to toe is relaxed. The energy is flowing from the heart and charging the whole body. That's all. You can open your eyes. Okay. After this is done, you go into a state of meditation. This is the way how to meditate. Just like this, keep your eyes gently and softly closed. Sit in a very relaxed posture. If you can sit on the ground with folded legs, that's the best posture. If you can't, sit in the chair, but don't lie down, otherwise you'll go to sleep. Yeah. You'll see a lot of people sitting, they go into a snoring mode actually. And many people say, oh, I was not meditating, I was snoring. But can you go into a sleep within 3 minutes after closing your eyes? It's not possible. But sometimes when we do meditate, you'll hear a lot of people snoring. That I don't call it as a sleep. It is, I would like to call it as Yog Nindra, for which our rishis left their homes and went into jungles. But with this system, it is possible to feel that ease, feel that calm, feel that poise. It's a revolutionary system actually. And it is all possible because of this pranahuti. I can give you the method. If you like to experiment, I can give you the method and meditate with this method. After a week, you talk to Professor Advani and ask, I like to receive the transmission or pranahuti and meditate and compare the experiences. One method is the same, but one method is with transmission, another is without transmission. So, if you like, you can experiment. If you don't like to experiment and straight jump into this meditation with transmission, I'm here to offer that to you now. Those who like to try, stay put. Those who like to leave, you're welcome. Okay, now we'll be meditating in that case for about half hour. This process of meditation is very simple. Relax the way you are now. Have your attention focused towards the heart and think that divine light is already present in my heart. We are not searching for light, it's already present. Assume with this. And in the end, either say yes or no. Prove or disprove to yourself. When it's over, I'll say that's all. And that's when you open your eyes gently and write your own experience in your mind, or if you like, you can maintain a journal of your experiences. Those who like to make this meditation a part of your life, you're welcome as well. The first session that you're going to have is to show it to you how profound it can be and whether you want to make this as a part of your life so that the inner change can happen. This evolutionary path can be adopted and I can evolve to a highest limit available to human. So remember this, there are no conditions. You don't have to drop your religions or puja or things of that nature. Make this an additional part of your approach to God. And slowly see how far it can take us. Thank you. You can close your eyes and please meditate. Please start meditation. So, thank you all. I hope you had some inkling of what this could be. And if you make this a part of your life, I must say you will not regret. I had started this practice of meditation almost at the same age when you are meeting at this moment, juncture of 17, 18. I started at 18. Somehow I stumbled upon the system with a friend of mine who was already meditating. He was from Zambia. And I said, okay, let's try it out. There is nothing to lose when you close your eyes. Some people may find it very funny. Some people may find it very profound. It depends upon their background, their culture, their samskaras. their wisdom and their foolishness. They find their own path depending upon what they are looking for. After two of my friends started, then almost 20, 30 of my classmates started. So it was like a contagious thing. And then my professors they were wondering what happened to these guys. Suddenly changed. And our scores were enormous. I studied in pharmacy, which is neither medicine nor engineering. It's a hybrid and it's a curse. Because they expect best of both the worlds, and it's not going to be possible. You superficially learn medicine and you superficially learn engineering. And these professors, they always want to outwit you. They will ask some toughest question from medicine and toughest from engineering, expecting you to answer everything. It's not possible. But through this meditation, it helped us a lot. Though there was so much of pressure, yet we sailed through without much problem. Most of these guys, they impressed the faculty. Faculty started meditating. My dean started meditating, observing the students. Who would imagine that? It was wonderful. And then most of us scattered all around the world. Some went to Australia, some went to New Zealand, most of us went to US. There too we started meditation, doing businesses. And that's the beauty of this path, Sahaj Marg, where we don't contradict a spiritual life against material existence, where we fulfill our family obligations. We look after parents, look after our family. It should be like two wings of a bird. A bird cannot fly with one wing, and so is human existence. If I go so much deeply into meditation and become a sannyasi and resort to mountains, what will happen to the family? It's not good. And if I resort to only material thing, making money, all this fun what you call today, then what will happen to my spiritual existence? If you fail in one class, what happens? Will your professor allow you to the next class? If you fail in this life, we will have to repeat this life, what we call rebirth. Think this very seriously. It will be worse than repeating a class. Thank you all. And I see you again.
So, good morning, everyone. I'd like to brief you on how this heartfulness program evolved over the last few months. Actually, the first interesting thing that we started in India was in a university called Maliba in a place near Surat. The administration of this college was inviting us for last, God knows, 4 or 5 years, inviting us and requesting that please come and teach our children how to lead a model life. But somehow we could not implement. It took us almost 2+ years before we say, okay, let's get going. So we started some very loose program over the period of course, running for at least 10 weeks or 12 weeks, I think. And each week we take up one subject, starting with religion. The next week we would take up some spiritual system, philosophical aspects of various systems would be discussed. At the same time, parallelly rather, we would request them to pay more attention to their individual practice at home. Whatever they have been doing, whatever their family has taught that child, we say, okay, please do this for 1 week. Then, second week, we request them, okay, now you ask your neighbors or your friends or your family, see if they can show you another method, another way of doing something, whatever it be, and do it very diligently and write your own experiences. Then we propose them that there are so many spiritual systems in India. We give them few names, tell them, okay, you pick up any system you like and you meditate as per their methodology. So this would keep them busy for a few weeks, and they would narrate their own experiences in their diaries. Then just 3-4 weeks before the end of the program, we would bring in Sahajmarg perspective. We teach them the method, and we let them meditate as per our method without any introduction, without those 3-4 sittings that we give. And then 2 weeks before the end, we give them 3 introductory sittings, and now we say, compare your experiences. You judge. Even though you practice this system, but this system was useless without transmission, without that proper introduction. So heartfulness is a essence, rather, the actual draw that we have been able to make out of it. We have been running this program of heartfulness in so many countries now, but something profound has emerged during all these discussions, and now we are ready to systematically apply this approach to all U Connect program, meaning the programs only for students in university setup. Then the same program can be taken to various corporations, business world. It can also be utilized during open houses, where we invite our friends and family members and say, okay, here is Sahajmarg system, this is how we meditate. But it is not enough. How we put our system so that they can understand the impact of it in a very scientific way. In science, all the results are reproducible. In Sahajmarg, through this meditation also, the results are also reproducible, see. And that's what we want to show to the world. This is how we do. Anytime we start the program, we say, look, you all must have been meditating, or you must have heard about meditation. That's why you are here. You would like to try. So I will not bore you with theoretical aspect of what meditation can do or cannot do. Let's do it, since you are here to experiment with it. Okay. To all those who are meditating for numbers of years with your own system, we are happy that you have been doing it. So now you have the experience of already existing system with you. Those who are not meditating or never have meditated in their life, they have not adopted any spiritual system, we like to give you this method. To those who have also practiced, we give them the method. So both become eligible for this method, meditating on the presence of the divine light or the source of light in our heart. Okay, so all will be meditating for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you say that's all. Let them write their experience. Now you tell them, okay, let's begin. The next step is relaxation. You walk them through so they are properly relaxed before starting the meditation, because prerequisite to meditation is you must calm your system. You must relax before you focus. So relaxation helps to focus. It is not the goal of meditation, but to plunge into meditation, you need some sort of calmness and a relaxed state of mind. Okay. Now, after they have relaxed, you say that's all, and you ask a question: are you all ready for meditation that you did before? But now you will be doing this meditation with the help of pranahuti or with the help of transmission, and you give them the first sitting. Whatever we do in the first sitting, you do in that sitting. That means, as a preceptor, you clean them and clean them and clean them in the first sitting. They know what to do. Once they they like the system, you ask them, write your experience. Now you tell them, compare it with your own notes that you have written earlier. That's all. You ask them, if you like to continue with this, we'll meditate again tomorrow. Designated time. If they cannot come at that time, you ask them what time would be more convenient, suitable to you. If you cannot come, we'll give you sitting wherever you are. We can give a long distance sitting. That will be second sitting and third sitting and fourth sitting as needed we can conduct. During all these programs, we should ideally collect everyone's email addresses so that we can communicate properly. See? Those days when we had the luxury of one-to-one association with preceptor, I think soon it will become more and more difficult. I think it's not that it will be impossible, but it will become more and more difficult. Imagine when 300 students start meditation, how can you talk one-to-one and explain to them, everyone one by one, that this is how you meditate, this is how you do cleaning, this is how you do your prayer, this is how you have constant remembrance. But all these features that we have, we should not overwhelm them all of a sudden. Take it easy. They have just started walking. Let them settle down with this practice of meditation. In few days or a week's time, or immediately, if you see the person is ready for embracing cleaning also, you tell them how to do this cleaning. But if they are not ready for it, you tell them next week, we will show you the ways how to deepen your experience of meditation. And this can happen through cleaning. So now you are slowly introducing the aspect of cleaning. Then you communicate to them again that you so far so good. Let us know how you are feeling. If you like to further deepen your experiences with meditation, offer them prayer. Then, or simultaneously, one or two maxims you can say, in gist of it, just in your own words, that this will help you. Like when you partake your meals, think of divinity, remain absorbed, and then partake your meals. This helps a lot. See, those who are ready for this prayerful suggestion that everything around me are absorbed in godly remembrance. This will also help some newcomers. It will deepen their experiences in meditation. See. Then introduce this aspect of individual sittings, group sittings. If ever we find that it is going to break them, tell them, take it at your pace. We don't have to start running from day one, see. And never ask a question, why are you not coming? or some negative questions like this, you see. Heartfulness is something, if I may say something on this heartfulness more, it's all about heart. You cannot push anyone. You yourself have to be so flexible with the whole thing. We have to work around them. Like when a child is not ready to take the morning breakfast, what do? We send them hungry to the school? No. We make sure somehow we make it happen. When a person has come in front of us, it has a reason. That person wants something from us. So take that opportunity and release the information as per the capacity of that abhyasi, that new seeker. Give them first sitting, take the appointment for second. If there is resistance, oh, second sitting, I cannot come, fine. Everyone has their own circumstances. That person is new, he may not be knowing about the second sitting, and he has not prepared his schedule also, that I'll have to take second sitting, third sitting, fourth sitting, who knows how many sittings. So preceptors should welcome such guys and say, oh no, since you cannot come for second sitting, I will not start you. No, it should not become like that. Don't be tough on them. See, Sahaj Mark system is the most beautiful and the sweetest system that exists today. In fact, at times I am even tempted to challenge all the spiritual systems in the world. See? Those who have been practicing for so many years, you just do this meditation for 10 minutes and see for yourself. I feel like inviting them, see. Not like a playground game, but actual comparative experiment, see. And we know that transmission can do so many things. With heartfulness, there should be joy in it, see. Preceptors must reflect that joy when that person has come. Where is your heart in this heartfulness? Many a times we have seen, this, I often give this example of medicine, sugar-coated medicine. Why do they sugar-coat it? Because they are so bitter. The taste, even after you drink a glassful or 2 glassful of water and have 2 spoons of sugar, still that bitter taste lingers on if there was no this sugar coating on the tablet. It is to mask the bitterness. Unfortunately, with our people, sometimes, I'm sorry to say, we bitter coat the sweet transmission. With our behavior, the way we speak to them, or we don't speak, we avoid them somehow. See, this guy, I'd like to avoid him. See, why? So don't bitter coat our sweet system, please. If you cannot work as a preceptor, resign and move on. We have many abhyasis ready to take on this job. But don't be a burden to the system and make it drag. Imagine if Google had transmission. or companies like Reliance in India would had transmission. So we would be out of business. Asmark wouldn't exist next day. We'll be all wiped out. Because service element would come into the picture. So we must reflect heart in heartfulness through the cheerful approach, see, through joy. When a person comes, how joyful he becomes. See, after 2 years, when your son returns home, You don't say, what the hell, he's back home again. You don't do that, do you? You're jumping out of the chair. Oh, you didn't even call me, you're here. And you're so surprised, and you go on bragging to your friends, my son surprised me today. But when an Abhyasi surprises you for a sitting, oh no, you should have called me. I would have, Okay. In short, heartfulness program is there to make thing happen and be more flexible from our side to accommodate others. In the beginning, they don't know what is expected of them. See? So slowly we start teaching them. See, there were days, I am telling you, there was one family from South Africa who visited India. In their first visit, they took 3 sittings. The preceptor told them, you close your eyes and focus on your heart. That's all. No divine light, nothing. No relaxation, no Babuji, no master, nothing. So that family meditated and went back home to South Africa. And what they did, they bought 2-3 photographs of Babuji and one of Lalaji and placed these photographs in the little temple they had in their house. And they would put the deepam and they would do the arti and all that, see. It went on for a year. And then they went to South Africa, Shahjahanpur. So they say, Babuji Maharaj, we do like this, we worship you every morning. we light the candle in front of your photograph and we do all these things. Babuji was laughing, say, who told you all these things? But we like it, Babuji, we love you for that. Idea is to create love in the heart towards the guy who guides us. If meditation has not been successful in creating it, I think you're doing it wrongly. The wrong thing I was able to provoke love in their hearts. How is it that love is not manifesting even after 10 years of meditation? That means something is wrong. It has nothing to do with the process. It has everything to do with our attitude. Even with the wrong attitude, with the wrong process, we adopt this system of meditation. But you have humility to accept the guidance of a master. It is that humility attracts transmission. Not the prayer, not your thought that divine light is glowing in my heart. Has it glowed? Is it radiating? Have you ever felt it? So really, truly what works is this, the vacuum, the inner cry from the heart within, that my Lord, I like to feel your presence. Now when we say, oh my Lord, whom are we addressing this to? We don't know. Certainly not the masters that we have. But they respond on behalf of the Lord and transmit. Cleaning also. Imagine those guys didn't do cleaning for a whole year. And when they left Shahjahanpur for the first time, 2 of the family members were made preceptors. I'm not saying that you start doing this arti and puja and all that. I'm only trying to say, take the essence part of it. See. That craze for God realization, that yes, this thing can make it happen. I give another very profound example actually, even better than this one. In 2008, I received a message from our medium via brother who is translating the messages. So he approached me, Kamlesh, there is a message from your family member. I said, what is the name? So he gives some name. I say, I don't know anyone with this name. I mean, in my family. Better check with her. So he says, she spells it like this, Uma, U-M-A. And she wears in a very funny way, in a brown sari, maroon brown sari kind of a thing. I said, I don't know anyone by that name. So then another communication from her, you ask your mother, she would tell you who she is. So I asked my mother, who is this Uma lady? She said, that's my mother. That means my grandmother. But in India, in some families, especially like mine, maternal grandmothers, I mean, we don't interact much except in your childhood. And my childhood, I was so far away into schools. She would come and go, and I would never realize that she has gone visited home. See. But she knew all about my life, and she pinpointed in that message that in your childhood you were like this, you were like this. So I asked my mother, is this medium just playing rookie with me, or is she real? No, this is everything's correct. Otherwise, why would she know her name, her dress descriptions? Now, the most amazing part is she is in the brighter role. That was to me a big surprise. How could she make it to the brighter role? She never meditated. She never met Babuji Maharaj even once. And she passed on sometime in 1980. Then I learned from my mother that she used to take a flower every morning that used to grow in front of her house and put it on Babuji's photo. Everybody should pick up the fresh flower and put it on the frame. Oh my God. And then I told this to Master. So he says, what do you learn from this? I said, Master, perhaps it's the faith. Yes, it is the faith that works, not the process. You can be meditating, nothing may happen without the faith. And faith is a matter of attitude again. And if you listen to Master's talk that he gave in San Francisco to an open house, addressing to an open house, he said, 95% success depends on our attitude. 5%, that too is too much to attribute to your practice. So, when a newcomer comes, don't be so harsh on them. Say, oh, you must stop this thing. You must accept Sahaj Mark exclusively for 3 months and you must not do anything else. No, that is going too far, I think. They will stop. They will not even try it then, say. Very rarely a person who has not been doing anything will say, okay, I will stop everything and come to you. But those who are doing something, why would they do it? Why would they quit it? Even though they want to quit, even though they know they are not finding any benefit with what they have been doing, yet the very fact that you are asking will prevent them from quitting it. In fact, encourage them. Do it 10 times if you are doing only once. Encourage them, but make sure you do this as well along with. And slowly what has to remain will remain. That too also we don't have to tell them. See? Don't scare them. Because they will say, oh, this guy is so confident, that means I'm going to drop my other things. We don't give ideas at all. Let their heart follow whatever they want to do. We have the freedom of following our own heart. Why can't we give that freedom to others? And when we have such a confidence in our system, so many magical things can happen with this transmission, and our master's help is there. Why are we being afraid and becoming cowardice? That, oh no, you better stop that and do this only. No. We must have confidence in our system and give it with courage and conviction that yes, they will feel it. With preceptors especially now, some of them they say, oh, how can I give 3 abhyasis, 1 introductory sitting at the same time? You can give to 300, you can give to 3000 also. Try it and see for yourself. In presence or in absentia, it has to work. If it fails, that means you yourself don't have conviction. And this conviction, it is not a gradual thing, see. If you don't have it now, you don't say it will increase 10% tomorrow and 15% later. Conviction is not like that. Either you have it or you don't have it. If you don't have it, please resign. I'm requesting you, please resign if you don't have such conviction. Masters will be very happy. Okay, any questions you have on this heartfulness?
I'm writing some questions here. Okay, talk. You say that after each meditation session, we should have some sort of a suggest to the participants to write their experiences. Any guidelines for preceptors to or people conducting the heartfulness session to convey to the participants what they should be observing during the meditation?
Yeah, okay, let's see, there are 50 new seekers here, and you ask them to meditate as per our methodology, just the method, 15 minutes, and you say that's all. You give them time, few minutes to write their experience. Give them time, and then when they're all finished, move on to relaxation, and then the first introductory sitting.
Okay.
And then after that also let them write their experience. That's all. And you say, now you compare it yourself. You don't have to say anything to us. You compare it yourself.
So then this leads to the next question that I've noticed in the heartfulness program that you, for instance, now you have this way of slowing down time, of making sure that this is a priority and nothing else is clouding your judgment, or you're not disturbed by anything else. And that's a problem for a lot of us. We get carried away with our work and we forget the importance of the program. How do you do that? What suggestions do you have for the people?
Oh, this is Abhyasa's problem. And I mean, we all go through this. This has nothing to do with heartfulness, though. This is a problem we all face. Preceptors, Abhyasis, everyone, see. What to do with it? It's very easy to say that meditation is all about feeling or thinking of presence of divine light in the heart. We begin with the idea that the divine light is present in my heart. We begin with this thought. And slowly what happens? That thought is gone. Other thoughts may come, but at that time you remind that I am meditating. And slowly a time comes, you're absolutely gone. And there is a unique feeling to that, see. Now, from that thought, you have started feeling something. And when this feeling is there for a longer period, we try to make it even longer and longer like that, see, through practice. What helps in this process is constant remembrance. Constant remembrance is nothing but retaining this feeling for the longest period, see. It is like this, when your grandchild or child gives you a flower, and in your rush going to office, you leave it on the table. By the time you come in the evening, it's all dried up. And the child, when sees this dried up flower on the table, Dad, he didn't even take this flower. What do you think that child will, think of you at that? So what happens now? When we don't appreciate the gifts, the gift giver is hurt in the process. When we do not appreciate the spiritual gift that we receive through meditation, do we think that my gift giver will be upset? He not just upset like a child, he really cries his hearts out actually. I gave this condition and it is lost. He really cries literally from within his heart. But there are some who appreciate such gifts. They go to office and say, oh, look at this, my daughter or my son gave me this flower. And they put it on the table, take a picture, send it to the daughter or son. How to cherish that gift? Everyone, you have to find your own ways of doing it. See? It is easy for people to say, remain connected with Master, remain connected with your experience, remain connected with your feelings, or each time you do your work, connect yourself with Master, thinking that he is doing it. Somewhere along we have to start as per our own idiosyncrasy. And I assure you that whenever we start something, their help is 10 times greater than our single effort. They'll make our process even easier. This activity must become a reflex kind of an activity. See? What I mean by reflex is, you'll understand when I give this example of cycling. When a little child, 2 years, 3 years old, learns how to cycle, we give them a cycle with 4 wheels. Then slowly it comes to 3 wheels. Then there are 2 big wheels and 1 smaller wheel on the side. The child starts cycling in a very confident way. See, of course, we have to support in the beginning. Then you remove the 3rd wheel, you hold the hands and they start paddling, and they go from block after block on their own with their friends. Time comes, they have a school bag on their back, their friends with them, going away cycling. Now what do you think here? Cycling is the main thing, or gossiping with friends, or singing with friends, or going to school? Here everything is so important to a child. Child has now forgotten how to paddle. Nevertheless, the child is still paddling the cycle. It becomes a subconscious activity now. See. Of course, in the beginning, the child had fallen so many times and bruised the ankles and knees. Meditation, retaining the spiritual conditions, is also like that, something like cycling. Initially, there is some disconnect now and then, but we patch it up again, see. If interest is there. The key thing is interest. Interest will find ways and means how to make it happen. If you don't have interest, no amount of teachings, no amount of methodology, techniques, transmission, nothing would work. Do you have interest? If you have it, you'll find your way.
I have 2 or 3 more other questions. I don't know if others have. I've been writing them here. I read somewhere recently, or there was some discussion about the source of light attracting one's attention. Can you talk a little bit about that as part of the heartfulness, where we meditate and we suggest to the aspirant to be attracted to the source of the light within.
Mm. Well, this is from one of the letters from Babuji Maharaj to an Abhyasi. He's writing it, how to meditate. He says, meditate on the presence of the light, which is already there in your heart. Think that it is attracting your attention towards itself. This was sometime in 1948, that letter was written to an Abhyasi. So the idea that it is attracting, that itself is a new phenomena actually. Now you are not focusing. You are pulled by that attraction. See, that idea is there, that it is attracting. Now what is it that is attracting me? We don't know. None of us know divine light. So, but it's an assumption. See. It's a supposition that divine light is present in my heart. See. Or the conviction that it is already there. Now I am praying that may I have the experience of this presence. And we are open to it. We pray to the Lord and say, my Lord, whatever be, let me experience your presence, however it be. My conditions are not such that it has to be like this, or it has to be like that, or I should be in a thoughtless state, or I should be in a samadhi state, or I should be a zombie. No, if there are millions of thoughts coming even after praying this way, let it be. Go through that process. If you are in a thoughtless condition, well, anyway, you're not going to fight it, because you have no thoughts to fight with it. So we have to accept everything, thoughts and thoughtlessness.
Just a couple more questions. That I'm fascinated by the Heartfulness logo. Can you, in your words, describe what you think it is?
Yeah. To me, when the artist sent this particular logo, instantly it clicked my heart and said, yes, this is it. Yeah. There is a heart there, see? That's our heart. Then there is another heart, another person, third heart, another person. So the many hearts, they come together. And it triggers that egregore. And the waves are created, see, in the world. Those waves are depicted at the bottom, see. So that's what Babuji also has been saying from the brighter world, telling us, my dear Abhyasis, I need your help. I need help of every Abhyasi. In what? Please practice the way it is prescribed. When you do this, you will attain a certain level of consciousness. When the consciousness of everyone is creating this ripple, egregore will be set in. This egregore, once it reaches its tipping point, will trigger much needed mutation. That's when humanity will take a quantum leap. This is the roadmap. But I like this logo because the aspect of egregore is there, many hearts coming together and creating that ripple. I think that's heartfulness.
I have just two more questions I wrote down right now. So you talk about sittings at a distance. For in the Heartfulness program, we introduce the people. We do the get them to meditate first, and then the relaxation, and then the sitting. Then the second and third and fourth sittings. Do you suggest that we set a pre-established time if they are not present? Sit at 9 o'clock at night, and we'll give you a sitting at 9 o'clock. Do you suggest some system for that?
Well, that will have to be one-to-one only, because one-to-one in the sense that person has to sit at a specified time,
Right.
right? But as a preceptor, you could be giving a sitting to one fellow in New York City, another in San Francisco, third person maybe in Austin. You give them a time 9 p.m. all three at the same time. They can adjust their time per their zone. See.
So you can be continuing working on them while they are away still. They may not know it, but you,
No, this for the sittings they will have to know that they are receiving sitting.
right,
Yeah.
specific times then.
Yes.
Okay. And then you also mentioned something, introducing them to the maxims, which is our foundation. At what point do you suggest that we introduce them to the maxims? In the first session itself, or down the road?
Down the road.
Down the road.
Even to most dedicated abhyasis, those who show so much of sign of devotion, we don't reveal them. It is not that anything is secret with these 10 maxims. Not at all. We reveal to them when they are ready for it.
I think I've asked all the questions. Someone else has any questions?
Thanks, Master. I have a question about assuming divine light. And then I was thinking that when you assume and practice on divine light, at some point we will see the divine light even if you are closed, you will see the divine light. Like I was believing that law of attraction, what you think most you attract. So don't we see the divine light?
You will never see it, sir. It's not a thing to be seen. To be seeing is sensual thing with senses.
But
Well,
with inner eye we can see the
then
third
it is
eye.
different. That is different thing. Now you're talking of experiencing the divine light. But even that, when we experience something, see, there are three entities involved. Three things are involved. Experience itself, person who is experiencing, and the entity being experienced, God, the devotee, and the experience. Now when you have completely experienced godly presence, we call merger, the devotee has dissolved himself into God. Where is the devotee who is going to talk about it? When the drop of water falls in the ocean, becomes the ocean, where is the drop to talk about the ocean? So it is a very beautiful concept. But the day you experience the highest, that day, from that day onward, you'll be silent. Zip, zap, zoop. You won't be able to speak anything. There is a question in the back, please. So often when people say, oh, I experience God, I can make you experience it. Be careful, see. Ipso facto that person has not. How can you still remain having experience? You should have been consumed long back in that love.
In Heartfulness, we invite people often who know nothing about Sahaj Marg and the importance of the Master in Sahaj Marg. Now, when they come into our centers, they have contradictory feelings, seeing pictures of three persons all over the place. And very often you don't see them a second time. Do you recommend some changes in the interior our center should look like to invite heartfulness visitors?
I think we should have welcome desk for visitors in bigger places where we can have good interactions with them. See, Now I would take up this aspect of the help of masters in my subsequent talks, how masters come into the picture. The role is very paramount, see. Though we focus in the beginning on heartfulness through the practice, but practice cannot exist without the master. You remove the master from the equation, the whole thing will collapse. Though God is there, without master, that thing cannot become dynamic. Without transmission, you cannot make it dynamic. So, it's a catch-22 type of situation. Well, you can say if a person is interested, well, he's the guy who transmits, who helps us feel that transmission. These are the guys. And it depends upon us now, ensuring that they don't worship the photographs. We have the reverse situation in India. They want photographs all over, see. It's like a wallpaper. If you don't see the photograph, they say, what is wrong with these people? They don't even honor, respect their masters. So we are caught between many cultures, rather, not just too many cultures. So if the individual comes as a seeker in heartfulness program, we tell them, look, okay, here is the guy who transmits, whose transmission you just now felt. Otherwise, if method was everything, you would have felt it in the first 15 minutes. But no, now you felt differently after transmission. And transmission is from this cartel. Okay.
Kamlesh Bhai, when we give only 15 minutes in the beginning to experience simple meditation, and then when we do sitting, we give 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Then they may think because of the difference between the times, this experience is different. Isn't it so?
I don't think so. Because even that 15 minutes to them will look like 1 hour, and the half hour will look like 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll give an example just to address that. The other day, some of our colleagues from the office who are not Abhyasis, so they wanted to learn about heartfulness, so I gave them a sitting. Not a sitting, asked them to meditate like you said in the first session. And it was about 20-25 minutes, and they felt it was very long. They said, oh, this was too much. After 15 minutes, I was very restless. The next session, I transmitted to them, and they said, oh, it was very short. It felt as if it was very short. So I think it's a very practical demonstration of what you said. When you do it, we'll really
And we have to emphasize this aspect that, look, I am trying to prove one point to you, what transmission can do. 15 minutes of the method, 15 minutes of the same method with transmission. Of course, we will not be transmitting in the first sitting. Preceptors know, they know what to do with the whole thing. But the idea is this, that to differentiate with the system, the method itself as a placebo and method with medicament. So what do you think of this approach? 1 hour thing, maybe 45 minutes, 10-15 minutes of placebo meditation without transmission, 2 to 3 minutes of relaxation, and actual meditation. You all agree? Anyone has any doubts about the whole approach? Okay, good. Thank you. Because earlier we were showing something that, okay, you meditate for a week, write your experience, we give them the method, and meditate for another week with transmission. It's taking too long, see? So I think this should help. I think. So we'll roll out the programs like that now to all you connect, universities, C connect to corporations. What else is there? Okay. Okay. I'll tell you something, through this heartfulness, few things are evolving also. Veronica asked me a question, how did we come up with this relaxation thing? And I said, it was there because it was rather invented for children's sake. Children who cannot meditate, who are below 18 or 17 and they cannot meditate. So they ask for something. So to play with them, we started relaxation things. You relax and then you feel. But it turned out to be so profound. And it is one of the Yoga Sutras also, in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Instead of sitting, they lie down and adopt the same process. From toes all the way to the crown chakra. And then bring the attention back to the heart. See? This is for relaxation. But if you want to sleep, go to sleep. Change the word from relaxation to sleep. It will be perfect. So you'll go to sleep very fast. In your office, this is for all abhyasis, whether you are preceptors or not. If you want to make a person relax in your office, make them sit in front of you. Now sit. And then you walk them through the whole process. It will take 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And once they say, oh, this is wow, then you say it is only at a physical level. If you like to go beyond this physical and go emotional level, spiritual level, we have meditation. You invite them that way, see. And beautiful thing about children, when they learn this in the beginning of the class, they are so calm and so perceptive in their ability to learn things. At the end of the day, they do the same thing, but they scan through not only the body, but they scan through the entire day cycle of what they learned, what was difficult, what they learned the most, and then go home. See, children are also advised, okay, if your parents need to relax, you go to their bedroom and touch their feet, and then touch in the sense hold their toe or hold their feet like this, not in a Indian classical way of touching their feet and then okay, no, not like that. See, hold their feet and then go through this process of relaxation. And in fact, this itself will put parents to sleep, and children are very happy with this. Now my mom is relaxed, she's not shouting anymore. So I think such things have far-reaching effects. See? And unfortunately, we get response only from children of our abhyasis, because we don't have any way of assessing this impact on outside world. See? Yes, Nagin.
I'm wondering, can't we do something when we want to do relaxation before starting? We ask people, whoever who likes to experience the method of our meditation, stay back after relaxation, and whoever who's not willing can leave. Because when we do relaxation, they really relax and in their heart, and then interrupting them, telling this story, bringing them out again, try to, make them into meditation. What do you think?
So you do all this talking business in the beginning.
Yeah.
That we will have 3 sessions.
Mhm.
One will be meditation with this method without transmission.
Mhm.
We'll say that's all. That's when you write down your experience.
Then we explain
Then
for
we
them.
say, okay, no explanation. Just everything is done in silence. Then they go into relaxation, which we give commands. Then after a few minutes, you will say, now you focus your mind on the heart, thinking that divine light is already present, and that's it. No more talking.
Yeah.
Meditation.
So my question is not directly related to heartfulness, but it's just related to Sahaj Marg and like our practice and Reiki.
But Sahaj Marg is in the heartfulness.
Yes,
It's
heartfulness. I mean,
okay.
that we are talking today.
Okay.
Is as you said, we've always focused. We know we all focus on our heart, and in Reiki they talk about all the chakras, and heart is one of them. So my question is how they are interrelated. Is there a relation between Reiki? Because in Reiki they talk about universal energy.
I would not compare Reiki with Sahaj Marg, but I will compare the chakras and heart. Is this your question?
Yes, this is what my question is. Is it
All the chakras are connected with the heart. All of them. So when we meditate on the heart, automatically all the chakras are balanced out. See? When we do the cleaning, when the preceptors, the master, whenever ourselves sit for cleaning, to the extent heart is clean, to that extent other places will be also cleaned up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.